Fam, what's up? Good morning. I appreciate you guys being here. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. It is June 7th. I hope you are having an amazing Friday morning, getting ready for work. You pop me on. I appreciate you guys being here. Patriot Life, what's going on? C-Dub, what's going on? Chris from New Jersey, what's going on? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Had a hell of a workout this morning. I was the leader, all right? And when I lead the workouts, we are going as hard as possible, all right? There's no breaks on Fridays. There's no breaks in life, okay? As we usually do, when this is a new feature that we started, okay? We do a calorie count start off, okay? How many calories have you burned according to your Apple Watch, your Garmin? What other watches are out there that do this? I have burned, and again, when I lead, we go hard, okay? I posted on social media the workout. What I did, well, first of all, calorie count, I burned 868 calories, all right, this morning, okay? So what I did yesterday was I went to Home Depot and I got a bunch of rope, and this was like, I don't know, 100 feet of rope. And I got 4 different braids, right? Like 4 different sizes. And then what I did was I took them to the Tuscaloosa News. Here, I'll show you. And I tied my 45-pound weight, and we got after it. So before everybody gets checked in, I'll tell you guys about the workout real quick, all right? So let's see if I can get this to play. All right, let's see if I can... because the workout was hard, all right? And we're going to talk about Naheem Offord. Well, I appreciate you guys being here, all right? And we'll talk about him to open up the show. I got to show you guys the workout, though, all right? This morning, I do all the editing, right, for our F3 channel here in Tuscaloosa. It's like a labor of love, if you will. But this is what, so I designed all this. So there's me. So you got to stake the flag in the morning. And then what I had was the 45-pound weights attached to these ropes, and then we'd bring up the ropes with the weights. We did that multiple times. And this is, of course, we also got 3 miles in, which you don't see. We also got a bunch of push-ups, air squats, different things like that. And then I had the guys working in tandems as well. So all together is a hell of a workout. And then we sprinted up the hill a couple times. So it's always a great, start for me personally to be able to get in that work at the beginning of the morning. Kevlar, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Blessings to you as well, man. And this is the work that we put in this morning at F3 right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. All right, so let's dive into it, and let's talk about what we got on tap for this weekend, because I feel it's going to be a really big week in his staff. And I'm sure that you're really excited about what Alabama has in store. Let me do something real quick, and then we'll talk. Who's currently committed to Ohio State, but he's going to be in this weekend taking an official visit. So this is really monumental. I know we talked about Chuck McDonald yesterday on a short, and I know that he has been, favored to come to Alabama. But I think when you look to prospects that Alabama needs and is excited about, Offord is certainly an in-state guy that you would love. He is the guy out of this class. So I think that talking like on the defensive side of the ball, right? So with him coming in this weekend, I think it provides an opportunity once again for Coach Kalen DeBoer to really set the stage. I mean, this was a guy, who's been committed to Ohio State. Hold on, let me do something real quick so I can focus on this. All right, let's dive into it. All right, Todd, what's up, man? I appreciate you, man. That would be amazing if it is Chuck McDonald Day, right? Appreciate you, man. Okay, so we have Naheem Offord, and this is really interesting, okay, because he is committed to Ohio State at this point in time, which is fine. Ohio State, as we know, they're going to get there. So they're recruiting at a very high level. I think he's one of the 3 5-stars that is committed to Ohio State. We've seen, Ryan Day continue to do a really good job on the recruiting front. Now, in Bama 205, definitely talk about Deshaun Lee. But like Naheem Offord, this doesn't mean that you're not getting Deshaun Lee, who is committing on the back end of June. This particular update is just about a 5-star who is taking an official visit in Tuscaloosa this weekend. So good question, though, Bama 205, and I appreciate you, man. And I'll star that, and I'll get to you in a second. Todd, we appreciate you being here, man. So what I think this means for Coach Kalen DeBoer is, look, they're going to lay out the red carpet. It's going to be a cold summer in Tuscaloosa, even though it's like already 85 degrees out here. And you get to showcase to a top prospect that is out of the state of Alabama, what you really have in store. I mean, this guy is from Parker, Alabama, and he committed to Ohio State a little bit early. And I'm never worried about when these prospects do commit. I'm always excited when they actually sign their letter of intent. And I think what we're starting to see is recruiting is still at the forefront of the headlines, but I see like the transfers that more people are excited about. That's not necessarily the case with some of like the upper echelon schools, because you're still getting major marquee prospects and visitors. For example, Naheem Offord. I mean, everybody's excited about him. This guy is electric. And then when you look to the On3 specific ratings, he's the number 1 player in the state of Alabama. All right, he's a number 3 corner, and overall, he's the 8th top rated player. Like this guy is like a 5-star of 5 stars. So you always want to take care of your own backyard. And Coach Kalen DeBoer has done that so far early on within these first, since January, whatever that is. And you get him on board. You give him the red carpet treatment. And we've talked, look, this is the red carpet treatment to me in a nutshell. Okay. You come over here before you even meet with Coach Kalen DeBoer. I don't know if you still meet with Roll Tide Willie or whatever the case is, but you come over here and you get to meet with the coach. All right. And what we've seen from these coaches is something special's going on. I mean, Mo Lindquist posted with Chuck McDonald. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, when you hyped him up yesterday, like he's the real deal, 1,000,000%. And then you get to see like the facilities, which are constantly being upgraded. You get to see the fact that they just partnered with NASCAR. So Alabama's always on the forefront. And I'm still waiting for Georgia to have their NASCAR, because they always follow Alabama. Honestly, like at first I was like, that doesn't necessarily happen, but it always does. And it's happened for like the last several years. Then you get to meet with your, diet and nutrition. Then you get to see you get to meet the other players, and you get to see the jerseys that are on the wall for number 1, guys taken in the first round draft pick, and on and on and on. And this is post Saban. And look, the brand and what the foundation here is so strong. And we're going to talk about that new basketball practice arena on the back end. But a lot of the headlines are now that the universities can pay the players, I think starting in 2025. So look, Alabama's not broke. And if you come over here and you see the iron sharpens iron, think about this. You're excited about this? Imagine, I know Naheem Offord is committed elsewhere at this point in time. Can you imagine him in the future going up against Ryan Williams, against Amari Jefferson, against Lacier Brooks? Like, the future of Alabama football is so bright. And I know guys can transfer here or there, but, in terms of collecting talent, it's not done here at the University of Alabama. So thank you, Bama 205. The brand is built to last. Yeah, it is 100%. So you have Naheem Offord, write this down, coming in for he's here. This is like an official visit. This is big time. He also has plans to visit, from my understanding, Oregon and Ohio State. And of course, your recruiting sites do a great job, whether that's 24/7, On3, Rivals, whatever. They could tell you more. But Oregon and Ohio State still in play. Clearly, he's committed to Ohio State. But I think, being here from Alabama, I promise you that Naheem Offord knows some guys on Alabama's current roster that are from the state of Alabama that I can be like, yo, man, like this is it. Ohio State isn't it. Like, this is it. We got something special, here. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. All right, so Naheem Offord in town for an official visit. Now, I think it's going to go well. And as I said in the title of the video, it's going to be a big weekend. So who else is in town? Well, before we go to Commitment Watch, let's talk real quick about another prospect. And that is going to be Chuck McDonald, because Chuck McDonald yesterday was predicted to come to the University of Alabama. Okay. I do not know when he will commit. Hopefully that is today, because I know that he got a couple of visits that he was supposed to be on. But Chuck McDonald, think about this. Yeah, C-Dub, I saw that. Duke Johnson. We'll talk about the in-state guys here in a minute as well. Think about this. You get Chuck McDonald. You get Naheem Offord, right? You get Dejan Lee. I'm serious. Like, that would be one of the most talented secondary classes put together from the jump. And I think in the world of grass basketball, what we play right now, you need the most athletic, ultra talented, tall, lanky type defensive backs. And Chuck McDonald being out of Matter Day, that would be amazing. Dejan Lee, he is ultra talented. And then Naheem Offord right here from the beautiful state of Alabama, that, like, it's realistic that Alabama gets each of those guys, which is crazy to think about. Like, mind-blowing. On top of the guys that they already have here. On top of the guys that left. Man, that would be it, like the dream class, okay? And people would be like, where are the 5 stars? Well, they'd be crazy if the 5 stars are Naheem Offord and Dejan Lee leading the way, and then Keelan Russell gets flipped to a 5-star. And then you get Ty Haywood. Think about that. Look, now we're talking. Okay? Those could be your 5 stars right there. Ty Haywood, Chuck McDonald, Dejan Lee, Naheem Offord. There's 4. And then let's say Keelan Russell gets the Bama bump, 5. Basketball. Matt Farms, you're exactly right? Todd, I know. Give me 2 or 3 5 stars and you're good, but it could really be 4 or 5 if you're thinking about it. Crazy. Man. Todd, I see you, man. Tim Watt saying Duke may have been talking about Haywood. Well, I saw Keelan Russell, his mom, is doing some recruiting for Alabama, and I think she was asking for Ty Haywood, his mom's number. And look, there's no better recruiter than a mama, right? When a mama starts recruiting, because look, if you are a parent of the University of Alabama, look, you had a lot of questions following Coach Saban's departure, specifically if you were on the roster, right? But now, since you've had time to understand who the staff is, see how genuine Coach Kalen DeBoer is, then you're telling other parents what you saw, right? Exactly. When a mama, because look, I say this all the time, people can see through bullshit, but you know who else more than anybody is a mom, right? Moms can see the future. Ask your mom. She knows. She already knows. So when a mom is out there recruiting, man, damn, Patriot Life, man, giving out 10 Fan Funder memberships right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate it. So make sure that your account is turned on so that you can receive membership, $2.99 to support the product. And when that runs out, it's on you to support the show. That's honestly how I get paid. So by Super Chat. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. So we're talking about recruiting. So you have Naheem Offord taking an official visit. Chuck McDonald was predicted to select Alabama. I don't know when that would be, but as you can see, there's some RPMs right here for Alabama. I kind of go back and forth on these RPMs. But, if you listen to like Andrew Bone or, some of those guys, Steve Whitfong, and like I said, I follow the On3 crew. I don't even work for them. I just think they do a good job. But you know what? I've been following some 24/7 as well. And, they do. So whatever the case is, it looks like Chuck McDonald is forecasted to Alabama, right? And you're right, show 44. Patriot Life is nonstop. You got to keep it going. Ty, I appreciate you being here inside the comment box. All right, who else could be on commitment watch? Well, let's talk about a prospect that's a tight end, and that is Nick Townsend. All right, and Nick Townsend is a prospect. I'm gonna bring him up on the screen right now. That would be crazy if they're talking about Ty Haywood. I didn't see him maybe be like forecasted or whatever to Alabama. No, I've asked Bone. They On3 won't let Bone come on the show because it's like On3 and like I'm independent, but I still love Bone. We still keep in touch. So you have Nick Townsend, who is a 4-star, and as you can see on the right, this recruiting prediction machine says Alabama, USC. He's out of Texas. You know what's been interesting to see? Damn, what's up, Adam Umpello? Appreciate you, man, with the 20 spot, man. It's good to see you. I see you, man. Adam, you've been a follower for a long time. You've been a subscriber. Man, we appreciate you so much. And thank you so much to you for Super Chat, but just always being in here. And when I have the call-in show, for calling in and chatting it up. You're really appreciated, man. You and Patriot Life and everybody else. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, so Nick Townsend, you know what's interesting is, hey Ty, and I don't know when Chuck McDonald is committing. I haven't seen anyone put like, a specific time on him at this point in time. So Nick Townsend, I would say, is probably on commitment watch as well. He's out of Spring, Texas. And what's been amazing about Coach Kalen DeBoer so far is he's done a pretty good job recruiting the state of Texas, right? He's starting to make waves. Think about this. You get Ty Haywood from Texas. You get Keelan Russell from Texas. You get Nick Townsend from Texas. Damn. He's doing a really good job. And I think a lot of that is I think Christian Robinson has some ties to Texas, being that he was there. Coach Kapilovic as well. And people are, really buying what Coach Kalen DeBoer is selling. So keep tabs on Nick Townsend. And as Todd is saying, he's a Caleb Odom type freak. I like those. I feel like I've been wishing on this star for a long time. Waiting for like some sort of this this is my dream. My dream is to have this like tight end, wide receiver, hybrid guy. Let's see. I'm sorry, Patriot Live. What'd you say? Hey, Kyle. I did a super chat. It showed, but it didn't show up in here. It said subscribers only. Huh. That's weird. I have no idea what happened on that Patriot Live. We could follow up. I'm not sure what happened, man. Oh shit, it's 400 smacks. Damn, I was gonna say try again, but that's 100 big ones. Man, I don't know where that super chat went. Maybe it said you have to wait for 5 minutes. Maybe it'll show in 5 minutes. I have no idea. That is really weird. But my dream is to have like this tight end that is ultra dynamic, that can also be a like wide receiver. So I'm praying that like Caleb Odom is that type of guy, that he's just such a mismatch, because I think a bigger type wide receiver can be dominant within this specific system, right? I think that, you get a player like Caleb Odom and you pair him up with, Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law, who, by the way, did you see this? Did everybody see this? Kendrick Law changed his number. He is now number 1. So you have Deontay Lawson, who's 0. You have Kendrick Law, who's now number 1. You have Emmanuel Henderson, who's number 3. You have Quay Russo as number 4. And you have James Smith, who's now 23. But you have Jeremy Bernard, you have Kobe Prentice, you have all these wide receivers. But you throw in Caleb Odom, that's kind of like my dream. So Nick Townsend probably on commitment watch as well. And then I think Dawson Merritt is going to be another guy to watch. So Dawson Merritt is a linebacker. Because I know sometimes when we talk recruiting, people are like, well, where are the defensive players? They're there. Dawson Merritt's been a name that I think a lot of people feel is going to commit to Alabama. I mean, here he is, this RPM. I don't know who's like RPM'd. I like Kendrick Law's number 1 as well. So Dawson Merritt looks like a guy that could also be on commitment watch. So this class, I mean, it's starting to build rapidly. You know what else was kind of landing some prospects was Clemson. They've been getting some 4-stars, right? Ty, I think you're right. I think Ryan Williams will be number 2. So Dawson Merritt, linebacker, right? And as Todd's saying inside the comment box, appreciate you, Todd. 6'3", 205. He's outside linebacker out of Kansas. So, I mean, Coach Kalen DeBoer is taking it all over, right? From the Midwest to the Northeast. There's no like specific recruiting pipeline. Like he's like all over the place. So I would definitely put him on commitment watch as well. So we have Dawson Merritt and Nick Townsend. I guess we throw on Chuck McDonald as well on commitment watch. So theoretically, you have 3 players that are committing this weekend. All right, so we got some in-state prospects to talk about as well. So you have Duke Johnson, okay? So Duke Johnson, let's see. 1 second. Before we get to the in-state, let's talk about Duke Johnson, who's out of Georgia, okay? GA. And he is committed to Alabama. I'll bring him up on the screen right now. I really like this prospect. I don't know why we don't. I guess that's on me. So Daryl Duke Johnson, what a baller name, right? Daryl Duke Johnson. So he's a number 2 athlete in state of Georgia. He's the number 8 overall player in Georgia, and he is committed to Alabama. And he's committed back on March 20th. So he will be back in town as well. I didn't see this, but I think Todd said it. That Todd said that Duke Johnson could be talking about Ty Haywood committing to Alabama, which is crazy. I didn't see that. That would be crazy. But this is the type of athlete that you want on board. 6 foot, 205. I don't know. Where do you think he plays, guys? Inside the comment box. Again, look at the guys that he's got. Out of the state of Georgia. Georgia's a tough place to recruit right now. Yeah, Big Bad Kirby over there. So being able to go into Georgia and get some of these prospects says a lot about his recruiting efforts. Bama 205 has Daryl Johnson at the corner position. Todd has him at inside linebacker and Husky. 6 foot, 205. Yeah, Daryl Duke Johnson is an important part of this class for sure. In terms of guys that are also here, you have Jaden Harmon, right? I'll bring him up in a second. Well, another guy from the state of Georgia, that is Jaden Harmon. So you look to the prospects that Coach Kalen DeBoer has been able to pull out of Georgia. I love it. I mean, this is another prospect. This is another 4-star. Let's take a look real quick at the recruiting rankings, because I know that Alabama, I think, was 6th, and then they went to 7th recently. So here are the top teams. So you have Ohio State, who has 3 5-stars. I want to see who their 3 5-stars are. I always forget. Devin Sanchez out of Texas, corner. Naheem Offord, who we talked about at the beginning, who will be taking an official visit to Alabama. And you have Tavion St. Clair. Man, I love these names. He is out of Ohio, number 1 overall player in the state. Those are their 3 5-stars. And you have Naheem Offord coming on this weekend. Back to the national rankings, you have LSU, who has 2 5-stars, USC, who has 3. Clemson added their 10th 4-star. Then you have Notre Dame up in there, and then you have Georgia, who has 2 5-stars. Let's see who Georgia's 2 5-stars are. Yeah, Williams and Walker. Okay. Yeah, it's not. I mean, of course, they're going to have a good recruiting class as well. If you go back, then you have Alabama. So think about this real quick. So they're 7th nationally, 3rd in the SEC. You have Daryl Duke Johnson. You have Derek Smith. But think about this class. And of course, you got Keelan Russell. But think about this. You could theoretically this weekend add a 4-star in Nick Townsend. You could add Dawson Merritt as well, and potentially Chuck McDonald. I mean, that puts them back into the top 5, I would imagine. And then, what would really break the internet is if Naheem Offord flips, right? If he flips from Ohio State to Alabama, that would break it. Yeah, so that's kind of a look at the recruiting front and kind of what to watch. It's a huge weekend. I mean, you also have, several other guys coming in. This is the last guy that I'll talk about on the recruiting front that's coming in this weekend. And just to kind of show you kind of just like the breadth of like where Coach Kalen DeBoer is recruiting from. Bring this up on the screen. I don't know how to say this young man's name, so I'm just going to call him Douglas. But you have Douglas, who's coming in from Bishop Gorman. I mean, people who are out in Vegas know the dominance that Bishop Gorman has had as a program. He's a 4-star, and he's a interior offensive lineman. So 6'4", 300 pounds. He'll be in visiting this weekend as well. So tons of guys. I think there's there's 15 guys or something like that are coming. And the weather's been great. I mean, it'll be a great time to host, all your prospects. So that's kind of what we have going on the recruiting front. I appreciate you guys being here. Patriot Life, like I said, I'll get back to you when I'm off air and we can figure out what happened on that super chat. But I appreciate you guys super chatting and becoming fan funders of Bama football on YouTube. Who's doing some talking, saw this on, floating around as well, is Georgia. Okay. Georgia continue. It's always amazing because Georgia feels like is it me or do they feel like they didn't lose the SEC championship game? They're always talking, right? So in this particular message board post, they're saying Bama inside linebackers, outside linebackers, and secondary are very weak this year. Talented but incredibly inexperienced. Beck throws for 400 yards in Tuscaloosa. I don't know what the current point total will be between Alabama and Georgia. I would imagine that it will be. Let's discuss that real quick. How many points, total points, do you think that there will be between Alabama and Georgia this year? Because, I mean, if we just do some quick math, let's say it's 35-31 Alabama. That's 66 points. You think there'll be more than 66 points in this game? Do you think it could be like a 42-35 game? Because then we're talking 71, 77. Jarvis is saying 61. Okay. So that would mean, right, 67. I'm saying if I was setting everything, I would say I could see it being like a 35-31 type game, right? I think there's going to be some points. Do I think that Carson Beck throws for 400 yards in Tuscaloosa? Probably not. I would say under, but will he hit for 300? I don't know. Maybe he's supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And I think it'll still be early on in the season for Alabama's secondary. But now that you've added Deshaun Jones, you have Damani Jackson, right? You have Keon Sabb, you have Malachi Moore. I don't know. Are they inexperienced as a unit playing together? Yeah, for sure. But are they inexperienced collectively, the guys that have played? Not necessarily. The guys have a lot of reps. Keon Sabb played a ton. Deshaun Jones played a ton. Malachi Moore played a ton. You get what I'm saying? Experience as a group overall, and they didn't play together. Damani Jackson played a ton. But they're not overly inexperienced. So if they can develop some on-the-field cohesiveness, and they're going to, remember, we've talked about this before. Think about their first couple of games. TJ Finley, he's going to throw it a ton, right? Your boy from South Florida, he's going to throw it. The coach there, he's really good, okay? And then the third game, Wisconsin, I don't know, Tyler Van Dyke, he's thrown for 7,000 yards in his career. I'm sure he's going to air it out, or at least try to. So I think the pass rush will be able to find itself early on in the season. They better by the Georgia game. Defensive line, they'll do their thing. And the secondary, that's kind of, we're all focused in on the secondary for Alabama, but they are inexperienced playing together, but not necessarily playing experience. They have that. And I think the younger guys will step up too. So, Georgia fans always talking, and I get it. I mean, And they're going to come into that game with a lot of momentum, just how Alabama will as well. I mean, you look at the first game of the season for Georgia, they're going to get a lot of momentum if they beat Clemson. They will, right? You're going to, play Clemson on a very large stage. You beat Clemson, you come to the game, you have an extra week to prepare for Alabama. Game day will be here. Coach Saban will be here. It'll be Coach Saban versus, Georgia, the whole thing. Coach Kalen DeBoer, how is he going to do in his first SEC game? The storylines are going to be crazy. Rocketown, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Ty, I appreciate you being here. Adam, what's going on? Marshall Turner has 67 total points, 35-32 Bama. I like that score. I like scores like that. Sounds good. Plus, add on the fact that Alabama has, probably the best kicker in college football. Let's just say it. Let's call him the best kicker in college football. Yeah, because he won the Kicker of the Year award. He beat out what I felt was the best kicker award last year was Will Reichard. The first games at Todd, think about this. The first games at Bryant-Denny Stadium are going to be crazy because they're all like the first game that he coaches in is going to be under the lights. The second game under the lights. The third game under the lights, like the early football Super Bowl, early college football Super Bowl, right? Man. All right. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys joining me this Friday. Okay, did you guys see this as well? This is crazy. All right. Brooks Carter on Twitter with the edit. There can now be, the NCAA has allowed corporate sponsors to be on the field. Okay. This is like a thing. So theoretically you could have, I don't know, and how much is this going to cost? So you could put in this particular edit by Brooks, which is awesome. You could have, and he has, call me Alabama. Okay, so and some people are gonna like this, some people are not. It's gonna be weird to see. What if it's like, I don't know, like what are some ones we'd be okay with? All right, could we do a Bama football on YouTube? You could do like, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy to see the corporate sponsorships on there. Hopefully there'll be CGI banners on the field for TV. What if they're like, yeah, that I don't know what it's gonna be like. Or they're gonna be like painted on banners on the field. And pretty soon you're gonna have like stickers on the helmet, like Dollar General sticker. Right? What would be some cool local sponsors to do it? Computer generated, hopefully. I guess maybe that I didn't think about computer. I thought they were gonna like I thought they'd just paint this on the field. But yeah, I think computer generated makes more sense. They could certainly do it. Can you imagine them having to go out and paint this every single time? But that's coming. So like it or not, this whole next wave of college football is going to be so crazy. All right, so I saw that. New players, numbers, write them down. And, once the roster comes out, I'm sure there's going to be more players change their numbers. Kendrick Law wearing number 1, Manuel Henderson wearing number 3. Love it. When I was creating players in NCAA football, and I can't wait for that game. We're almost a month out now. I would always put my better players with lower numbers. That's how I did it. Even if they were on defense. Now, I don't think you can make at that point in time, I don't think you could put a player as number 0, but like Deontay Lawson has 0 now. And so does Terran Arnold, which is dope. But I would always put like my top players. Like if you were like one of my top 10 players, you were getting a low number, right? You have to. And the best player always gets number 1, period. Even if you were like a D lineman or inside linebacker, you're always getting number 1. All right. Okay, let's talk about this new Alabama practice facility for basketball. And, I had someone inside the comment box yesterday. They were like, yo, I thought this was a football show talking basketball. No, I appreciate the feedback. It's June. I talk about topics that are relevant, and I talk about the topics that are relevant until, we just move on. And then as news happens, I come back and talk about news, or I have videos that are ready to go, whatever the case is, because I'm not always around my office, or I might have bad service, but we talk about news as it comes. Alabama is supposed to get a new practice facility, right, for their basketball team, like men's and women's. And it's going to cost, I think, $56 million. And I think $21 million of that is going to come from UA reserves or from gifts. I don't know the exact percentage. It's going to be connected onto Coleman Coliseum. All right. So in my mind, that tells us kind of the future of a new basketball arena. I don't think a basketball arena is coming anytime soon to Alabama. And before you get upset about that, think about this. And I don't know, how do we feel about this new basketball practice facility, right? Is it just kind of to calm the masses? I mean, the practice facility that I've seen so far, it looks efficient. That's a lot of money for a practice facility, but everything is expensive now. And I get it. They've talked about that. They've talked about inflation, how it's affected everything. So, I guess it's going to be connected to Coleman and a new practice facility. I think they're having to shift gears because they're having to think about costs for paying players, because the university will have to do that. And how is that going? And I don't even think you can really project finances, because you don't know how much you're going to have to be able to pay the players in the future. So I think that's kind of slowing things down from what the university can do in terms of their reserves about paying the players. Because I don't think there's going to be any salary caps. Players are going to want to get paid what they deserve to be paid. Man, where is college football going to be at in 2028? I have no idea. But you're going to have to pay these players. And I was thinking about this, what happens if you can no longer keep these Olympic sports? These are the 4 sports that I think they would have to keep because of Title IX. I think they'd keep football. I think they'd keep men's basketball, women's basketball, and softball. Todd's saying dead if things don't change. Man, it's crazy. There's no money tree that you can just go shake millions and millions of dollars. I don't know. And these Olympic sports that don't make any money, I don't know how they're going to survive at all at the college level. Wild. Wild times. Are there any topics that I missed on that you guys want me to talk about, or any questions that you guys have? I'll leave the floor open for you guys. Those are the topics that I have for you today. So we talked about recruiting, the weekend visitors, potentially, some commits coming on board. And if there's anything else you want me to hit on, or any other questions, just go ahead and drop it in the comment box. I'm going to put Naheem Offord, his profile picture, in case you guys are late to the show, who is out of Birmingham, will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend on a full visit, red carpet treatment, the whole thing. He has other visits to Oregon and of course Ohio State lined up, but this is where we're at. And you also have I appreciate you, Adam. Thank you so much, man. We talked about commitment watch. Write this down. Nick Townsend, Dawson Merritt. Maybe Chuck McDonald. That would be huge. Other guys visiting. You got a guy, very talented inside offensive lineman from Bishop Gorman. You got Duke Johnson from Georgia coming in. You have Jaden Harmon from Georgia coming in. So Ricky Smith, man, it's all good, man. Appreciate you. You can watch a replay. Kyle is Offord, same type of prototype of Downs. I don't know. It's hard to compare. I got you, Bama 205. It's hard to compare anybody to Caleb Downs, because Larry Large, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Caleb Downs, I'm not going to hate on Caleb Downs. he did what's done is done, and you move forward from it. But like on the field, Caleb Downs was like different. I mean, I think he was probably, after Dallas Turner, he was probably the, second best player on that team on the defensive side. And there's a lot of people that said that Caleb Downs could have been like a top 10 pick in this past year's draft. So I don't know. In comparing Offord to Downs, I think that's a tough comparison, but I think Offord is pretty damn good. It's just Downs is just like that special. Not to say that Offord, there might be just completely different players. I don't know, but like Offord is like the guy. You get him. I mean, people be fired up. You get the number one player from the state of Alabama, of course, right? Any update on Mal Waldron? I think he'll be here this weekend. So it'll be another opportunity for him to get to, visit with the coaches and stuff like that. I would imagine that he jumps on board. I'm not sure. Efron, what's up, man? Yo, when are you going to do more merch giveaway prizes? I could do some. Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, we'll bring out the pinwheel again for sure. We could do that. Maybe we'll do that, on one of our next shows, even if it's like small stuff. Because I think because I live in Tuscaloosa, so like I can get like small like little knickknacks or like cups or wallet covers or whatever whatever, poker chip, whatever. And maybe we'll do like a daily giveaway or something like that. I think that's a really good idea, Efron. Appreciate you being a fan funder of Bama Football on YouTube. David, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box. And Adam, I'm with you, man. Can't wait for the season to start, man. Because during this point in time, like as a content creator, you're like June and July, it is what it is. You kind of just skate through, but back to the season. No, the pinwheel, it's not rigged. It's not. It's a program. James, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. So we'll keep you posted on the news that happens. Please be subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you guys being here this morning. I know I've been up early. I've been having the show up early. When we start the season, and I kind of understand when the team practices, when the media availabilities are, we'll get to like a, more methodical schedule. And I got some really cool stuff planned for this season. So I appreciate you guys being here, being with me daily. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. Make it count. And look, if you're watching on the rewatch, let me know where you're at calorie wise. Get moving. All right. Get moving out there. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. And I appreciate you guys so much for being here on Bama Football on YouTube. Kyle Anderson, please drop a thumbs up if you like the content. And as news happens, I got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. 105,000 strong subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful Friday, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.